Hi all, in this video we will try to discuss how all the planets are trying to signal the end of a yuga, means the end of whatever happened for the past, you can say for the past 5000 years or for the past 5200 years, right, whatever that particular duration. So they are clearly showing some kind of transition. They are clearly showing a new world is coming into the picture, right? So definitely the new world is going to be much more better than the existing world. So it's something like you can clearly understand in the Kaliyuga, dharma has only one pada, right? So the next yuga, which is called as the ascending Dwapara Yuga. Generally people say, the Satya Yuga or Kruta Yuga, that is the first one, both are same. Satya Yuga or Kruta Yuga, both mean the same thing. And the second Yuga is Treta Yuga, third one is Dwapara Yuga, then they say Kali Yuga. People believe in the cycle of transition. Directly we go from Kali Yuga to Satya Yuga. Kali Yuga to Satya Yuga cannot happen directly, because nature allows everything very slowly, systematically, with lot of discipline, with lot of restrictions, or you can say with lot of teachings, lessons, right? The transition is very slower. It cannot happen in one day. So after Kali Yuga, what happens is we will see ascending Dwapara Yuga. So in the ascending Dwapara Yuga, which is going to be most probably it can be from 2026 onwards, you can say, right? So in the ascending Dwapara Yuga, you can see dharma is going to be running on two padas, right? So the adharma is going to be less. How adharma is going to be less, right? How the transition can happen? It's because, see, if there are so many resources, and the number of people are less, then what happens? Automatically people may not have much greediness, right? The greediness would be reduced to an extent, because people know that they will get something a bit easily, right? So the greediness will be reduced to an extent, right? So this kind of transition you can clearly see from 2026 onwards. So from 2026 onwards, whatever days, most probably that is 2026, 13, 14 or 15th April, right? In these 3 days, you can clearly see a starting of an ascending Dwapara Yuga, right? So before that, the planets are clearly showing the transition. They are clearly showing the transition and end of whatever existed so far for the past 5,000 years or whatever, 5,172 years or whatever that duration of Kali Yuga, right? So even you can see the 28th February 2022 is also giving, in advance, it is giving an indication of this kind of transition period. And some people may feel, right, in this process some countries may vanish, or some countries may be occupied by some other people, and some country people may migrate to some other countries, some kind of lot of people may die. So this kind of transition, all these things may happen. So generally you can clearly predict, right, a country of inefficient people, a country of corrupted people, a country of inefficient leaders, a country of not a country not having much armed forces, or some countries they don't have armed forces, or they may have very less armed forces, they just do a kind of show off before their people, right? So such kind of countries can be easily occupied, right? Obviously when some war energy is established, right, and a country is having very less efficient leaders, when a country, take example of any country, whichever country is having inefficient leaders, inefficient armed forces, just the show of armed forces, right, and the corrupted people. So because see, when there is corruption in a country, when there is lot of corruption, the intruders can also enter very easily, right? Because you can buy anyone by using some money. Just give some money, buy anybody, right? Buy anybody's duty, buy anyone's character, buy anyone's decision making power, whatever, right? So if you're able to buy someone's character or someone's decision making thing, someone's ethics, by throwing some money, right? Just how you throw some biscuits to some dog or something, the same way you can also throw some money onto the characterless people, and you can buy their ethics, and you can intrude their country. So the country of characterless people, the country of unethical people, the country of corrupted people be occupied very easily, because that kind of country, the country of inefficient leaders, the country of corrupted people, it's a kind of easily occupiable land, right? So obviously we can clearly expect the corrupted countries or the less efficient leaders, that kind of countries are occupied by more stronger forces. Now in this whole scenario, you can clearly witness this in 2023 also, 2024 also, 2025 also. I already made a video where 2023 is going to be a just miss for the transition. 2023 is a miss, 2024 is just a miss, and 2025 it is done, right? So that some videos I made something like why 2024-2025 transition would be end of Kaliyuga, or some of the videos also you can check, the 2025 the end of Kaliyuga. Those kind of videos are available in the channel, and you can clearly see them. See, when end of Kaliyuga is something like end of a cycle, right? End of a cycle, it started. So when, let us say, sun is entering Ashwini Nakshatra, what we do in India? When sun is entering Ashwini Nakshatra, we celebrate a new year, right? And it happens in 13th, 14th, 15th April every year, right? In some states it's called as Ugadi, or some places I think it is called as the Gudi Padwa, or whatever, the new year actually. I don't know the different names in the different states, but 13th, 14th, 15th April, right? Even the people in the Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Maharashtra and Karnataka, they celebrate New Year on the same day most of the times, right? That is based on the sun's transition. When sun is entering the Ashwini Nakshatra, because Ashwini Nakshatra is the first nakshatra in all the nakshatras, in all the 27 nakshatras. So when sun is entering Ashwini Nakshatra, that's it. That is the starting of a new year. And when sun is transiting all the nakshatras throughout the years, how many? So it takes 1 year. Sun takes 1 year to complete the whole circle of the whole zodiac signs, or all the nakshatras too, right? So to traverse all the nakshatras, sun takes 1 year. So when sun is entering Ashwini Nakshatra, again we say the new year is going to be started. The same thing is happening actually, in 2025. In 2025, there is a planetary position coming into the picture, which is all the planets are occupying the Aquarius, Pisces and Aries only in this particular. So the cluster of planets are going to be concentrated here. It is clearly showing some kind of transition in the sky space. I think it is it's a kind of 8 planet conjunction in the sky space of around it's how much we can say, it's around 59 degrees, or right in the 61 degrees of sky space. I made a video in some other in this channel, you can clearly see it. So in the sky space of 59 or some 65 or some number you can take, so there, and that sky space involves a part of Aquarius and full part of Pisces and a part of Aries. So actually 2023 is going to try for that planetary position. The 8 planets conjunction can only happen because the other planets, the other planet that is Ketu, because Rahu and Ketu are always 180 degrees apart, so you cannot see a 9 planet conjunction, but you can clearly see a 8 planet conjunction. And we don't consider Neptune, Pluto or Uranus in our mundane astrology considerations, because we don't have much data about that as per our Vedic astrology is concerned, Vedic mundane astrology is concerned. Even Bruhat Parashara, whatever the sages, they only considered these 9 planets, right? Rahu, Ketu and the other planets like Sun, Mercury, the Moon, Venus, and then Mars, Jupiter and Saturn. Then Rahu and Ketu, only these 9 planets they considered. Okay, so there is going to be a pure transition in 2025, and by 2026 you can clearly witness that the dharma is going to coming into the 2 padas, right? So in this, so 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, 4 years, right? So it's a kind of, see, dharma is going to, so till now there is only 1 pada of dharma, but after 2025 it's 2 padas of dharma. So just imagine when a child is taking birth, there's a kind of, the 9 months period for mother is very crucial. There's a lot of struggle happening. The same thing happens when a new dharma or dharma is going to becoming the 2 padas dharma. So there is a kind of birth of dharma, or the origin of dharma is happening. So just imagine the world is also going through some chaos automatically. So those are expected, because without struggle or without pain, without problems, there is no transformation, right? There's a fundamental rule in astrology, right? Without pain, without hurdles, without problems, without struggle, no transformation, right? That's why, so clearly it is showing the planetary positions are showing a lot of transition, right? So it's struggling. See, 2022 it is showing this kind of planetary position, clearly the origin of something, and then 2023 is also trying to, it's something like, you can just compare it with a newborn child, something like the child wants to come child wants to come to this world, but in 2023 it's not happening, 2024 not happening, 2025 is done. And this kind of analysis I already did in the videos, right? The 2024, 2025, end of Kaliyuga, whatever, all the videos you can check. So now the 28th February 2022 is also trying to signal the same thing, right? It's something like a child is almost trying to say, yes, I'm coming, right? I'm here, I'm coming, right? Such kind of indication it's clearly giving, the dharma is giving that kind of this one. So in this whole process, as we said, See, there is no use of a country having lot of adharma. What is the use of the existence of such kind of countries at all? The universal plan is like that. The universal plan is something, a country, let's take any country, some country, right? So the country is full of adharma, full of corruption, full of inefficient leaders, inefficient people, lot of inefficiency, and wherever you go you see corruption, wherever you go you see adharma, right? Why those people are just living? What is the use of their living at all? That is the universal plan. The planets think that way, right? So this kind of corrupted people, this kind of people following adharma, what is the use of existence of such kind of people? There is no use. So better wind it up, something. So better try to flush it off. So the universal plan is like that, right? So the universal plan is something like, it also has an element of patience, where it will try to understand the behavior of the people. It will help the people to grow better, to become better people, to become better persons, to become a better country, right? So it will also try to give some time, but some of the countries cannot understand this one. They just follow the path, the corrupted path that they are actually following. They're not even able to understand. That's why, see, the COVID-19 already showed, right, a sense of transformation. So many people have this kind of transformation in their lives and everything. It already taught a lot of the stuff to the people, but still the people are not changing. So the universal plan is something like, okay, let's give some time. So 2020, 2021 and 2022, it's something like it already knew the people are not going to change much. That's why 2023, 24, 25 is clearly witnessing it. So the destruction that's going to happen during this particular whole struggle is very much proportional to the behavior of the people. If at least the people are following dharma now, at least the people are even, first of all, we need to understand the rulers. The rulers are going to suffer a lot in this whole struggle. They may not able to sleep also. That is a problem. They may not able to sleep. They may not able to eat properly. They may not able to even live their life, right? We should not use the word happily here. Even they cannot lead their life very normally also, right? Because so many struggles, so many problems, right? For the leaders, especially leaders feel like, even some of the world leaders may get some suicidal thoughts. The world leaders, the rulers of countries, right? And those rulers, the inefficient rulers, only can get this, the suicidal thoughts. And in some of the countries, the rulers may not be, they may understand that they cannot rule anymore, So this kind of transformation is going to happen. You can witness this in 2023, 24, 25, right? Every time the rulers are feeling lot of stress, they cannot come out of that. It's a kind of big struggle for them, because it's the result of their unethical behavior. It's the result of their inability to transform their corrupted country to a well behaved country, you can say, right? So anyways, one more thing I just want to point it up, just want to tell here is, here see, sun is under the control of Rahu. So Just observe the dignity of Sun. Where Sun is transiting here, Sun is transiting in the house of Saturn, that is Aquarius here, right? On 28th February 2022. Clearly, Sun is transiting in Aquarius. It's the sign of Saturn, and where Sun is not so comfortable, not so very much comfortable, because Sun is not comfortable with Saturn. You can see this in millions of Vedic astrology texts, right? And when Sun is in the area of Saturn, how he feels? He will not be happy. Definitely, he is not happy. Sun is not happy there. Sun is not comfortable there. Sun is a kind of he is just like, right, under stress, very much uncomfortable. And who is supporting it? But who is supporting it here? Rahu is supporting. How is Rahu? Rahu is very powerful here. Rahu in Taurus. So whenever Rahu is transiting in the area of Taurus, he feels very much comfortable, because Taurus is the land of resources. Taurus is the land of materialism, a pure materialism, you can say. Is a seed of materialism, right? So Rahu is very much comfortable there, because Rahu is also that kind of a person who likes so much of materialism. He likes materialism more than any other planet, right? So Rahu is very strong here. He has a lot of strength there. So this Rahu is supporting Sun, but Sun is not comfortable. Sun is transiting in an area. It's something like a king. A king is living in some kind of hut, in some kind of a normal house where it's a bit dirty. It's not so comfortable, right? So the king is living there, but king has the support of two demons, right? And the demons, of course, they are the enemies of king. They are enemies of the king. There are two means I just gave a number. Here there is only one demon, Rahu, and a big demon is supporting that king. And the king already knows that the enemy is supporting me for time being, right? He knows this fact. And even the enemy, that is the demon, the Rahu, also knows that the king, the Sun, is enemy of it, but for time being it is supporting. So totally the Sun, the king, is not at all comfortable, right? And you see the Jupiter is transiting in the area of Saturn, so he's okay. He can give mixed results there. It's a kind of, for Jupiter, it's an unknown world, because generally you can expect Jupiter kind of people to be in some religious some temples, you can say, some temples or mass or churches, something like the religious places. Jupiter is comfortable there, or Jupiter is comfortable in the courts, right? Jupiter is very much comfortable in the colleges. He is very much comfortable. He is comfortable in schools, educational institutions. So those are the areas of Jupiter. Jupiter talks about dharma, right? But Aquarius world is not like that. It's an unknown world for Jupiter altogether. He doesn't know. He explores. Now Jupiter is trying to explore he is in the world where he is not at all comfortable, where he did not see so far. He hasn't seen so far. So Jupiter tries to learn something every time, right? So he's not comfortable to explore the new areas, the kind of areas that he is exploring here. Jupiter doesn't want to explore such kind of areas, but still he is pushed to explore those areas. Even you can see the people who are having Jupiter in Aquarius, whenever the Jupiter is activated in the Mahadasha or Antardasha, they generally pushed to explore the unknown areas for them. the uncomfortable areas for them, right? So they are under stress a bit, but even they are under stress, the Jupiter energy is something like it wants to learn. Okay, let us learn what is there, what we're going to miss here. So such kind of energy, the Jupiter energy is such kind of energy where it always wants to learn something, where it always wants to explore something, right? There's an unending learning, learning thirst you can expect in Jupiter's energy. So such kind of Jupiter is trying to explore some new environment, right? So even the Jupiter is not comfortable in Aquarius, he's okay. Feels like, okay, let's try to learn. This is not my area of interest, but still I am ready to learn, right? So such kind of expression you can find from Jupiter here. Whereas from Sun, you see that Sun is in a state of worrying. Why? Sun is in Aquarius world, the Saturn's world, and Sun is supported by Rahu, right? And one more thing, let's try to see the dignity of Jupiter here is supported by Rahu. It is also supported by Rahu, right? But Jupiter is okay. Okay, Demon is supporting me. Let's see. This is going to be a tougher thing for me, a tougher unknown world. But still, I am okay to explore because I have the unending thirst for learning. So, but the problem here is Jupiter is also representing financial world in the mundane astrology. In the mundane astrology, Jupiter is finance. That's it. There is no other statement you can make. Jupiter, the first thing, even in the Brihad Samhita, you can find lot of quotes about Jupiter and finance. Jupiter is treated as finance in mundane astrology. It's treated as the money of the government. That is Jupiter, right? So money of the government is supported by Rahu. Means what? Money of the government is supported by unethical deeds. Rahu is unethical deeds. Rahu is demonic activities. So the government's money, so government here is trying to, maybe it's going to try to loot the money of the public, right? Of course, every government does it and everybody knows it, but there is a limit for everything. But here the limit is a bit crossed, but still people are just followers of the gun, or they just keep quiet in some countries, and in some countries they may try to rebel, they may try to be against the government, right? So the energies are like that, right? So Sun is not comfortable, Jupiter is not comfortable, but even though Jupiter is not comfortable, he is something like, okay, let me learn, this kind of attitude he has. He's a soft guy. So, and that is the world of Aquarius here. So you just feel the energy there, right? So the energy is not so very great. And now see, the other planet I want to see is Moon. Moon is in its own nakshatra. It is transiting in the Capricorn's world. So the Capricorn's world for Moon, when Moon is in Capricorn's world, it is something like, the Capricorn's world is it wants to put you under restriction. It wants to put you under discipline, under action, right? The Capricorn world is something like, only think practically. Don't be very much imaginative, right? Don't be so much emotional. Okay, have some discipline. These are the energies of Capricorn's world. And when Moon is transiting in Capricorn's world, it is not comfortable there, because Moon is, and also see, Saturn, the Capricorn's world always says, be with some discipline. Discipline is important, slowness is important, focus is important, concentration is important. Only when you are slow, when you are patient enough, when you are very much disciplined enough, then only you can achieve something in the practical world, right? So Capricorn's world is something like that. But Moon is a fastly moving planet. Saturn's energy, Saturn is a slowly moving planet. That Saturn's world is also something like discipline, slow, be patient, move slowly, go slowly, don't do this, don't do that. If you do that way, you cannot achieve this. And don't be emotional, be strict, have some focus, have more concentration. So these are the words you can always listen in Capricorn. Down to earth, be down to earth, right? So that is Saturn's world, Capricorn's world mainly. But when Moon is transiting there, Moon is a kind of, it's a fastly moving planet in the solar system, because you can just see Moon stays in one sign for 2.5 days only. After 2.5 days, it just quits. It just quits the sign, right? And it quits a nakshatra in one day. And see, Moon, of course, that's why Moon's effect is temporary in this kind of, except in the eclipses, and there only you consider it more. But in remaining transitions, it just stays there for one day in a nakshatra, 2.5 days in a zodiac sign. But in natal astrology, Moon is very much important, because that's a different story. And here, Moon, of course, the impact of Moon is temporary here, but still Moon is there, right? And it is the main significant force to distribute its energies, for different signs or different, to the world, you can say, especially to the earth, because it's very closer to earth. Now, of course, Moon is supported by its own nakshatra, where it has some good amount of satisfaction. It's something like, a girl is living in the in-laws house, but the girl has a lot of support from the parental house, right? Lot of support. It is getting a lot of resources, even though the girl is in in-laws house. In the in-laws house, people are asking the girl to be very strict, or do this way or that way, putting a lot of restrictions or whatever. But for the girl, all the resources, whether if the girl wants some money, the girl wants some furniture or whatever, the parents are supporting, parents are giving, right? So thereby that girl is a bit satisfactory. So such kind of energy you can observe with Moon here, right? And now Mars is exalted. Mars in the Capricorn world, Mars is someone like, because Capricorn world is something like do work, do something, right? Do something, be strict, do something, do some action. No words, only action, right? So that is Capricorn's motive. And Mars, when it is transiting in Capricorn's world, it feels like it is my world, It is very much, it is not very much, it's more than 100%. This world is following my rules, right? So Mars has that kind of enjoyment, in Capricorn. So Mars has no boundaries here. Mars feels very much comfortable. That's why it is exalted in Capricorn's world, right? So of course it is in Uttarashada, which is supported by Sun. So Sun itself is not so great here. Sun is transiting in a bad Aquarius world, and Sun is supported by a demon, an enemy, but still, Sun is nothing but the government. So the government is actually, Sun is always comfortable with Mars, because Sun wants Mars to win any battle or whatever, right? Mars is a military commander, military general, you can say. So Sun always wants Mars. Sun and Mars are always, the best friends, you can say. Generally, they are the best friends, just like a king and his general, right? So Mars here is getting the support from the king, because Mars is under Sun's umbrella, that is Sun's nakshatra, and it is also transiting in the Capricorn's world, which is a practical world, right? So here totally Mars is like, it can do anything. It has the support from Sun, it is transiting in its own world, not own world, instead you can say more than its own world, right? So this Mars is super strong. This Mars is super strong here, right? So Mars represents all the blood related diseases, and also Mars represents the battles, the armed forces, the weapons, everything is Mars, right? And now Mercury, you say Mercury is behavior here. Mercury is a kind of it's an entertaining energy, it's a kind of logical thinking. He's a kind of a small hero kind of a personality you can always imagine with Mercury. Mercury has no problem with anybody. Mercury is just like is a logical thinking guy. He is that energy is something like innovating something or researching something, just enjoying the life, just being very normal and not having so much of anger, just neutral. Even if someone says this is good, then he is okay. If someone says this is bad, that's also okay, something like that. So such kind of energy is Mercury. Mercury's behavior is like that. And when Mercury is transiting Capricorn's world, and it just observes, okay, your people are working more, they are action oriented, they are very much disciplined. Okay, let me try to have the discipline here. Let me try to enjoy this world of strict action, discipline, the world of practicality, the world of practical thinking. Let me try that. Why not? Mercury behaves very normally. It is right. It enjoys that. It feels very okay, right? The research. Mercury is something like the friendship between the countries in the moon and astrology. So to an extent that is fine, but Mercury is supported by moon here, right? So Mercury is getting the resources from moon, and that moon itself, the moon is getting support from its, as we said, moon is getting support from its own entities. So moon can support Mercury, fine, okay, right? Here Mercury's dignity is okay, right, fine. Now Jupiter, we already checked Jupiter's behavior, supported by, right, a demon. And Jupiter, even though he is not comfortable, he is just trying to understand, explore, and and the unknown things here. Venus, if you observe, it is at 0 degrees. So Venus is not at all comfortable here. At 0 degrees, Venus is feeling the heat of Sagittarius and feeling the practical restrictions of Capricorn. It is under some kind of struggle, right? Because it itself is under transition, right? So by the placement itself, it is under struggle. Where it is sitting is something like it's under struggle, you can say, right? The very placement means, see, if you are sitting in a chair, and if the chair is good, you sit very comfortably there. And if you have a lot of dustbins nearby your area where you're sitting, then you are not comfortable. See, by placement you are good, but the surroundings, the place where you are living in, is not so good for you, right? The place where you are living in is something like the zodiac sign, and the place you are sitting, right, is the seat. So for Venus, the seat itself is not good. That's what I want to say. Leave about the surroundings. The place where it is sitting is very much something like the chair has only 3 legs, and and also it has a pin, where it is actually pinching you, right? So such kind of environment, the entertainment industry, the Venus is always related to the entertainment industry and all this stuff. It is under struggle. It's a kind of struggle. So this Venus is supported by Sun here. right? The sun, of course, the government, at least the government is, even though the government is very much bad, it is at least trying to support Venus here. So the government itself is not so comfortable. So what kind of support Venus can get, right? Government is under stress. So that is the energy here. And where Venus is transiting here, the practical world, be practical. But Venus is something like it's completely imaginative. Venus is entertaining, right? It's entertaining. It's a kind of no. I sometimes I want to be very much artistic. Not sometimes. Every time I want to be artistic. That is the behavior of Venus. But here in the Capricorn world, they have a restriction like be practical. But Venus is okay. Venus is okay. Sometimes we have to be practical. Then only we can achieve something. Just how you see, even though the movie artists, they entertain you in the film, individually they perform so much of gym activities. They are very much practical, right? So they are okay with that, right? The practicality, and that's that thing. But here the problem is Venus is at the junction of Sagittarius and Capricorn. So it's a kind of not comfortable, but somehow getting support from a poor government, right? Kind of expression Venus is feeling here, right? So even though Venus is getting a lot of support or whatever, what it can do, it cannot. It just enjoys. It just gives us some kind of bliss, some kind of entertainment, some kind of movie-related enjoyment, right? Some kind of fashion world, some kind of love, relationship energy. This it can provide, but it is also not so comfortable. It itself is not so comfortable, so it may not give that kind of rays, that kind of energy to the people here, right? So even its supporter, the sun, is not so comfortable. So a kind of uncomfortable situation for Venus energy here. And the Saturn's energy, Saturn, where is Saturn here? Saturn is sitting in its own house, a Capricorn. It is its own house. So whenever Saturn is in Capricorn, it says it's my own house, it runs by my laws, my own laws. The energy of this house is completely, it is my energy. So in this house, whatever I say, it will be passed. People who are coming into this house have to obey my rules. Saturn is like that, and he's very much disciplined. He wakes up early in the morning, he does gym or whatever. The discipline is peak, focus is peak, concentration is peak, right? And he works very slowly, very patiently, right? So Saturn's world, Saturn is in its own world, very much comfortable there. And who is supporting this Saturn? The person supporting the Saturn is Mars. And Mars, how is Mars here? How is this Mars? Mars is very much strong here. But Saturn, in mundane astrology, is going to give hardships to the world, right? So when you ask, let us say for a moment, just for an imagination, so the energy falling on the earth is the sum of the energies of all the 9 planets. Energy of Rahu plus energy of Ketu plus energy of Sun plus energy of Jupiter plus, like that, sum of the energies of all the planets falling on the earth, and it is going to trigger the events on the earth. That is a fundamental thing in the astrology. Now, for a moment, I am making the energies of all the planets 0, and I am only allowing the energy of Saturn. So how it is going to be? And that is nothing but the Capricorn's world. It's going to be very strict. It's going to be very much, people must be very punctual. People, it's not like people should not laugh, but people should behave very strictly, a bit seriously, a bit. They must have some focus. They must have some discipline in their life. So such kind of world you can observe. And also Saturn asks the people, to move very slowly, to move very patiently, to think very patiently, to do actions very systematically, very with a lot of concentration. It's something like Saturn, you can imagine Saturn's energy is something like a teacher with a stick in hand, and if you commit any mistake, a teacher hits you, right? So that's why people say Saturn is a teacher, but Saturn is not a teacher. He by his by his energies, he is looking like a teacher. Jupiter is a teacher to an extent. Of course, Mercury doesn't want to be a teacher, but he likes the academics and also the logical thinking, the entertainment and everything. That's a different story. But Saturn's behavior itself, he behaves like, because let us say you met a person who actually always teaches you some discipline, some patience in life, to move very slowly, to be very systematically, to organize the things, to to think patiently, to talk very patiently. What do you feel about that person? A person is, and if you are under his control, then you feel like, to an extent, right, you learn something in the life, and when you move on, you can just think of that person and you feel that person as a kind of teacher. Okay, he taught me that kind of how to be very disciplined, how to be very patient, how to be very systematic. He taught me that, even though he was very hard, when I was very, very hard. Something like he gives a lot of frustrations, right? It's something like, the frustration is something like, you are seeing a, I will give one example. The Saturn's energy example is something like, you go to a tap to get some water, right? A water pump, and you just tap it on, you don't get water, and there are 3 other taps, you try there, you don't get water. What you feel, you are a bit frustrated, right? There are 4 taps and no water. Then you ask somebody there, right? So why water is not coming here? Okay, water will come after 5 days. If you are patient enough, then you can wait for 5 days here for the water. Or there is one tap over there after 1 kilometer from here, right? If you walk for this 1 kilometer, because there is no transportation available from here to that tap, the 1 kilometer distance you have to travel, you have to walk, right? So when you walk, so you have the enough patience to walk that 1 kilometer. You can go there in half an hour or 40 minutes, and then you can get water for sure, right? Otherwise you can wait here for 5 days. So you get this kind of, you are given this kind of situation. So how you feel the time, that is Saturn's energy, right? And of course it is ensured that if you go 1 kilometer, if you walk for 1 kilometer, you will get water for sure. So it's something like, you have to be very patient. It's something like, no, I don't want to walk. If you shout, or if you do some nonsense, then that's it, you only lose your energy, right? So what happens if you shout there? Saturn hits you. Saturn hits you. Saturn says, no, you have to walk and get the water, or wait here for 5 days. So he hits you. So that is the Saturn's behavior, that kind of environment you're in. So he tells you also, he tells you the path, the easiest path to go to that particular the other tap, which is 1 kilometer away. If he is very much happy with your behavior, he may try to tell you, okay, you go there for 1 kilometer, and so he may not hit you also, because you're very much patient enough, you're very much obedient enough, right? So he may tell you also, if you shout like this, I will hit you. If you talk very politely, if you talk very obediently, I will try to help you in reaching there in a shortest distance. It is 1 kilometer, but I will show you the path of some 700 meters so that you can reach there very comfortably, easily, in less time. you get your water. So if you're obedient enough, you're patient. So he is teaching you patience, he is teaching you obedience, he is teaching you some kind of discipline. He is teaching you how to be with, how to seek help, how to behave with others, kind of energies, right? He is teaching you. So if you are like this, so if you are not like that, he will teach you, and ultimately you will become a better person, and you ask obediently finally, and then you get the water there. So after getting the water there, you just feel, okay, that guy taught me the obedience, the discipline, the behavior, the concentration, focus, the patience. Okay, like that. That is Saturn's world. But Saturn is a kind of, you may think, why this guy is teaching me so many things, is why he just repair, why not he just repairs the 5 taps over there and give me some water. You may think like that, but it is not the Saturn's behavior. Saturn's behavior is not giving it very easily, but giving it with some delays, or with some restrictions, with some obedience, with some change in your behavior. Or he may also check your previous karma. So if your previous karma is very bad, then he will tell you, he will clearly tell you, your previous karma is very bad, you're a bad guy in your previous birth, so you go there 1 kilometer away, and there also you don't find water, and after going there, I will hit you more, even I will give you more hardships there, because I am going to give those hardships for you, and you have to travel that 1 kilometer, no other go. If you are here, I will hit you more, because your previous karma is very bad. I have to do this way. That way only your previous karma can be nullified. So he's like that. He's a bit hard man. He is not a happy guy. He doesn't give anything very easily to the world. He gives hardships. So that is why clearly it is indicating a very, very strong Saturn. In the whole picture, you find Mars is very, very strong, and this Mars is supporting the Saturn, who is the owner of that house. Just imagine, is it Saturn's power or Mars' power, you can say here. It's a mixture of both. And this Saturn and Mars have the 9th aspect from Rahu here. Rahu energy is, Rahu's 9th aspect is something like, is kind of expanding it. It's a kind of giving kind of smoke, giving kind of some kind of aid to your, some kind of push to the whole energies present in the Capricorn's world. So here Mars and Saturn are getting some kind of more, the energy is amplified, you can say, at least to an extent, because Rahu is aspecting Saturn and Mars also here with the 9th aspect, and it is also aspecting the Moon, Venus and Mercury, and Venus is anyways not comfortable, so that not comfortable environment Rahu is going to amplify, and Moon is, of course, is like a girl sitting in the in-laws house, getting a lot of support from the mother's house with, right? So enhancing it, whether the restrictions in the in-laws house or whether the support getting from the parental house, all that thing is really enhanced by this Rahu's 9th aspect for Moon also. But Rahu is a natural enemy for Moon. Moon is a natural enemy for Rahu. And again, Mercury is something like, okay, let me try to explore this world, let's enjoy this world, let me be entertaining my usual way. So that behavior also Rahu is enhancing. So in the whole picture, if you observe the Ketu, and Rahu is also supported by Sun here. Rahu is supported by Sun, because see, there is a mutual support, Sun and Rahu, even they know both of them are enemies to each other, right? They have to do it. It's for time being they are trying to be like that. government supported by demons, and the demons supported by the government kind of picture. And Ketu is supported by Jupiter. And how this Ketu is going to, Ketu is in Scorpio world. Scorpio world is for Ketu, it's something like, it's more than own house, it's a party house for Ketu. It's my own house, because Ketu is a bit directionless to an extent, and because headless, right? And Scorpio is something like hidden house. What is there in the house, nobody knows. Anyways, Ketu is also directionless. Ketu is something like, he is very much spiritual, he just wants to sit somewhere, right? It's okay for Ketu in Scorpio, is more than happy there. And this Ketu is supported by Jupiter. Whether he supports the Jupiter itself is not comfortable, so not very comfortable, but it's okay. The Jupiter is supporting Ketu, right? Generally the Ketu is natural disasters and all this stuff, and an uncomfortable Jupiter is supporting here. All over, Ketu may not have much role here, right? But Saturn and Mars, they got the complete attention. Saturn is here to teach the world, right? So clearly it is starting a kind of and the other thing is, all the planets are under the control of Saturn here, all the 7 planets, and Saturn is the strongest planet. It is something like, whether you like it or not, Saturn wants to teach you, right? So the whole world. So definitely it is starting a very big transformation, and all of them, right? Not only they are under the control of Saturn, they are under the control of Rahu and Ketu, because all the planets are in between Rahu and Ketu. The Kala Sarpa is formed, a pressurized situation, right? Mars and Saturn. When Mars and Saturn are very much comfortable, we generally see a lot of battles coming into the picture, right? So one battle may lead to another battle sometimes, right? It's something like 2 countries fight with each other, and meanwhile some countries come to the support of one country, some other countries come to the support of another country, and again these two, some other countries, the 2 groups, the other countries in the groups, right, they may also fight, right? Saturn and Mars are like that, they like battles. So when Mars is happier and supported by Saturn here, right, of course Mars is supported by Sun here, and it is transiting in the Saturn's house. So Mars is very much happier, Saturn is happier, they may plan something like, so there is a meeting going on here. It's something, it looks like a 5 planet meeting, but it is a 7 planet meeting, because all are under Saturn's houses only, right? So no other house, see, no other 2 houses, even Jupiter has 2 houses, but they are Sagittarius and Pisces, in between 2 other houses are present. Even Mars has 2 houses, Aries and Scorpio, but they are also some houses apart. The only Saturn houses are together, something like it's a 7 planet meeting. Even if you include the other, you cannot say planets, there is Neptune, Pluto, whatever there, if even Neptune and Pluto are also in Saturn's house, they are also under Saturn's control, but we don't go the details. The Neptune, Pluto, Uranus, they don't, they don't give any kind of we don't have data as per the Vedic astrology, the mundane astrology, or whatever Brihat Samhita. We don't have much data about them, and we cannot comment much on them, right? So this is the behavior. A 7 planet meeting basically, it's a 7 planet meeting, and who is the main guy here? Mars is the main guy. Saturn is the main guy, and of course Mars is also another main guy here. So they are trying to tease the world with battles, with fear, right? So because how they teach, how Saturn and Mars, right? You just imagine Mars is kind of military general, and Saturn, we already explained the behavior of Saturn, right? So they teach the world with a lot of fear, with a lot of war kind of energy. If you don't do that, I will kill you, kind of, right? That kind of attitude they teach the entire world. Rulers are going to be under pressure here. Rulers feel that why we are even living. Some inefficient rulers, not all the rulers, the inefficient rulers feel that why am I really why I became the ruler of this particular state or this particular country. So rulers will cry, right? They are also under fear. Rulers are also under fear. They may not eat properly, they may not sleep properly, kind of. This is the whole scenario. So of course this is giving a clear seed of the transformation 2023, 2024, 2025, the end of Kaliyuga, you can say. The end of Kaliyuga is 2025, and 2026 onwards you can see a better world, a two pada, dharma is under, it's going to the two padas, right? There also from 2026 also for some years, because you know that when the dharma is coming into two padas, what you can see is dharma is going to win, adharma is going to come down, right? The two pada establishment, even when a kid is born, he also takes some time, right, to walk and to become to be strengthened, right? That's why from 2026 onwards you can see dharma is attacking adharma more, and you will see a lot of problems for all the adharma oriented people. And there is a, so it may take again some 10 years or 15 years to settle down, right? So that is the behavior here. Anyways, whatever is going to happen, the destruction and everything, that's going to show you a better world, right? You will see a better world in 2026. People, the world without crime, much crime, because two padas are dharma, two padas are adharma. It's a kind of balance, right? So at least to an extent you will see some new laws coming into the picture in the world, in the countries, from 2026 onwards. And for those laws, now the preparation is going on, right? So new laws are going to come into the picture. People may feel very much better. So a lot of struggle happening, see, from 2020 onwards. So many planetary conjunctions, so many, the eclipses are also a bit different, right? All the events, the great conjunction happened in 2020, whatever, all the events are happening one by one, right? So the universal plan is ready, it is just the execution of it. So one way is people can really avoid it if rulers become more dharma oriented. Otherwise they will also die. The rulers will also they feel like why they became rulers, unnecessarily we became rulers, we're inefficient. They may also give a statement and die, something like, an inefficient person should not become a ruler, right? So even though they may not die completely, but they feel like this, right? Some people, even they may have this kind of some inefficient rulers, they may have this kind of feeling also, feeling of death or something like that. Very bad for all adharma rulers and adharma countries. The adharma countries are actually going to be occupied. They have to go to some other country, at least the people in the adharma country. So they have to go to some other country, maybe to live or something like that. What is the point of existence of an adharma country, adharma rulers, adharma corruption, everywhere, inefficiency? It's a kind of nonsense. What is the point in existence of this kind of worst countries especially. But there is no point. Dharma cannot accept, especially Lord Shiva cannot accept this kind of countries. Lord Shiva is going to flush it off, flush the countries off, right? So that is it, and thanks for watching this video.